Right now, you might not be able to hear or understand what I'm saying, but with the use of technology, especially on a computer or on a smartphone, you can get things like subtitles to understand exactly what I'm saying. But what if you're out in the real world? How are you going to get subtitles then?
These are the Captify Pros. Now, the Captify Pros aren't Captify's first smart glasses. Those were actually a team up with MyView, MYVU. These were the first ones they built, and as you can tell, the style isn't the most stylish, at least for me. I personally think the Pros are a lot more stylish. They're also lighter. They're 16% lighter than the originals, and even though the original offers pretty much the same sort of functions, it has the translating, it has the transcription, it also has a teleprompter. The Pros don't have the teleprompter, but they have more in the way of transcribing and translating. Like, for an example, the originals could only translate up to 13 different languages, whereas the Pros can do like 40, 30, 40 plus. They also do different dialects and different accents. So in English or Spanish, where there's loads of different accents, it can even detect those and translate them. Another difference between the original and the Pros is the projection squares, which you might be able to see on the original are very large and take up most of the lens, whereas with the Pro, they're a lot smaller near the top and are actually quite hard to even pick out most angles, which obviously isn't a major difference, but in terms of when someone's looking at you, it can be quite distracting to see a massive sort of projection square that has green light and green text on, whereas when you're looking at someone with glasses like these, they just look like glasses. And just like the original, the Pro has two projectors, one for each lens. So it doesn't matter if you have a stronger or weaker eye, you'll be able to see the text through either lens. Now, for the software, even though you get more languages and also a better transcription and translating with the Pros, the software is pretty similar. The biggest difference is in the design and also the quality of the build. The Pros, they feel so much more premium. With the latches, they just feel so much sturdier and stronger. The plastic feels thicker and more premium, even though it's lighter, so I'm not really sure how they did that, but all round, it definitely feels and looks more like a premium product. And also with the versatility of customization, with the nose pegs, you can pull these out and it has 3 different options, so it can fit a lot better. So here is a closer look at the glasses. If we look at the hinges, these are very premium and there's a lot of give for all different face types. At the bottom we have our charging port, and if we get our charging cable, this clips together like so and it's held together with magnets. Also on the bottom you can see our on-off button. This obviously powers on and turns off the device. There's also microphones dotted all the way around this device to help pick up obviously the noise and sounds, but also for noise cancelling. We of course have speakers either side at the bottom that are directed at the ear. Now, even though these are designed for the hard of hearing or for the deaf, there's loads of uses I can use for me. Number one is for meetings. So if I'm in a meeting with the transcription, it will note down everything everyone says. And where this is helpful is if I miss up on a word or a sentence, I have the text in front of me so I can reread exactly what was said. Also, after the meeting, I'll have a transcription of whatever was said in the meeting. So if there was a task given to me or just general overview of information I need to know, if I forget, I'll have a transcription which I can reread to remember what I need to do or what I need to remember. Another really helpful use for these glasses is for a non-native English speaker that just happens to be in an English-speaking country. So this could be for an exchange program or someone who wants to take an education out in a different country. So say for instance they come to England, but English isn't their first language. If you had these glasses in a lecture and your teacher is speaking English, if there's any words you don't quite understand or couldn't quite understand what they're saying, having the translation or transcription in front of you can be super, super helpful. Not only that, is if you are translating for later on, you have this transcription in your own language for you to better understand what was said in the lecture. And of course, as we live in a world with AI, these glasses do come with an AI subscription, which offer even more languages and even better translation and transcription with the glasses. But what they also offer is like an AI assistant that can give you a summary of your conversation, which can be incredibly helpful. But even more helpful is it can answer questions to a conversation you've previously had. And for instance, like I said, back to when I'm having a meeting, if there's any sort of text or data that is going on in the meeting that I need to revisit but I can't quite remember, I could ask the AI assistant to tell me that information. For instance, if my manager's telling me about quarterly figures for the first quarter and I just don't remember what the numbers were, I could say to the AI assistant, hey, what were the quarterly figures for Q1 that was in today's meeting? It gives me the answer. That is just incredibly helpful for lots of people, not just the hard of hearing or deaf. And what I really like is you don't have to buy the subscription package. A lot of the features that you get on the glasses are free and you don't have to subscribe to anything to use. It's just if you wanted that added extra of AI and those few extra benefits, you can have the option to subscribe. So as we can see, smart glasses are incredibly helpful for lots of people, but also lots of scenarios. Another one for me personally is when I went to Disneyland Paris. Over there for the rides, they speak French and English, not necessarily repeating what's said in both languages, but they'll have a conversation, half of it's in English and half of it's in French. So you can piece together and get a rough idea what the conversation is, but it'll be so helpful to have a tool that tells me what the French part is so I can piece together the whole conversation. So incredibly helpful bit of kit. And in terms of would I prefer the Pros over the originals, it's a no-brainer. With them being lighter and also just being a little bit more comfortable because you have different like nose clips to change the comfortability on my face, they are just so much more comfortable. They offer more. They're a little bit more stylish in my opinion, especially they also just look more like regular glasses. It's no-brainer. Yes, you are paying a little bit more, but to future-proof the technology to last longer, it's a no-brainer for me. These are definitely the better glasses. I'd love to know what you guys think of smart glasses in general. Do you think they're helpful? Do you think they need improving? What do you think of Captify's smart glasses? Let me know in the description down below. Please go check out also in the description. I'll have links to where you can actually pick these up, information on there. There's no affiliate links, it's just helpful information for you guys. Make sure to like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys next time.